And we are live, sir. Hello, everyone. A very good evening to all of you who have tuned to our page Wings, Durgapur Wildlife Information and Nature Guide Society, for today's webinar on Sicilians by our very esteemed guest, Dr. Varad Giri, sir. He is a well-known face in the field of Indian herpetology. He is the director of Foundation of Biodiversity Conservation and NIDAS. He has worked with BNHS for approximately 15 years and worked with various amphibians, reptiles for the last 2 to 3 decades. He has more than 50 species described under his name. He has 3 reptile species which have been named after him. He is intensively working on documentation of herpetofauna of the northern Western Ghats for the last decade. He is also presently working with NCBS and IISC. It's a huge opportunity for me to host this webinar. Welcome, sir.
Thank you very
Welcome to
much.
our page Wings.
Thank
Before
you.
we begin with your presentation, sir, when we published that you will be joining us, we got huge number of questions, and I have shortlisted 7 and 8 questions to be exact for you. So I shall begin with the first question, sir.
Yeah, please, please.
When did you start your career as a personal herpetologist?
Okay. So let me make the things very clear. Okay. I'm not a herpetologist. Number one.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Okay, sir.
Because see, herpetologist is the person who knows amphibians and reptiles properly. So the person who has very good understanding of amphibians and reptiles, and I don't have that understanding. Basically, no, I know a bit about a few groups of amphibians and reptiles. That doesn't make me herpetologist. Number one. Okay. So in 1999, after my masters, I went to BNHS to appear for an interview. Okay, there was a walk-in interview. No, I was there to do some work, and one of my very good friend who used to work there, his name was is Prashant Mahajan. So he asked me like, "Varad, there is a walk-in interview. Would you like what?" I said yes because it was my dream to work with BNHS. Okay, so I went there and and interview went on really well. Actually, there were that time the director was Dr. Asad Rahmani, and in the panel there was very famous marine biologist B.F. Chabir was there, and J.C. Daniel, whose book I used to read, he was there. So these are the people who were there in the panel. I never knew that they were there until I joined BNHS. Okay, so interestingly, they asked quite a lot of questions, and so much of the interview went on, answering questions pertaining to birds, not the amphibians again. Okay, and a few questions on snakes and blah blah blah. And at the end of the day, they said like, we have a position in herpetology section, and would you like to join? Okay, I said great, no, because any section, man, I want to work with BNHS. And I came out and asked somebody there sitting there, like, what is herpetology? That was the first time I heard that word. So,
Okay.
and then probably in 1999, when after joining BNHS, I I started studying empathy. It's after my
Okay.
master's.
Okay, sir. So till your masters, you were a studious person, right?
No ways. I was never a what
Okay.
studious man. To be frank, my if you look at my marks, they are quite amazing. I got 48% in 10th and maybe 51% in 12th. That doesn't make me a studious person. Uh, that is not.
So we don't need marks to be as successful as you, I guess.
So, I see. Basically, I'm not successful. What is
Sorry.
success,
Okay.
man? Success is nothing. No, I'm the person who is doing what I like. Basically, no, I will not consider myself as a successful person. I will consider myself as a lucky person because I'm doing what I like to do. No? And probably that itself is a success.
True, sir.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, sir. Now I'm going to the second question. When was your first publication, and what was your first publication?
Oh wow, it's very interesting. As I told you, no, I started my interest in natural history with birds. Okay, so during my MSc, okay, first time I realized that there is something called bird watching. बर्ड वॉचिंग करके कोई चीज होती है उसके पहले
Okay,
भी
sir.
हम बर्ड्स देखते थे लेकिन डिफरेंट काइंड्स ऑफ बर्ड्स नॉट द रियल बर्ड्स so first time I came to know that there is something called bird watching because my senior in MSc his name is Hemant Dhamke who is a professor now in one of the colleges in Pune so he used to do bird watching and he is my first guru and call taught me how to do the bird watching. Okay. So these mentors are very important. So, like, and another big thing of my beginning of career, there are two more people who are equally important. One is a person called Anil Shingare. He was my room partner. He used to catch snakes, and
Ah,
I still believe that he is one of the best person, understanding his knowledge, everything was amazing. Unfortunately, because of certain reasons, he did not continue. And but the first exposure to snakes is because of Anil Shingare. And there is another very tremendous personality in my life. His name is Satyajit Mane. So he diverted my attention from birds to different life forms as well. He's the one who told me, like, Bharat, no, you need to look at biodiversity. Don't consider yourself as one person looking at one thing. So these are the people, who made me what I'm today.
okay, sir. So, going to the third question. We generally know that amphibians and reptile studies are mainly done in the Western Ghats and far northeast. The urban landscape and the Eastern Ghats are a bit neglected. Recently, few discoveries were made from the urban landscapes. So, what's your view about it, sir?
See, I feel that amphibians and reptiles are highly neglected in every sector. You know? Like, I don't feel that amphibians and reptiles are the group of animals which people really like. Nobody likes
Quite
them.
true.
No,
Quite true, sir.
and then there are very few people who are studying them. So they have the problems because funding is a big issue. And with limited funds, you can go to certain places where you can ask certain questions and get those answers. Okay,
Hmm.
but now the picture is slowly changing. There are quite a lot of people. When I started in 1999, there were few people, but today there are many people looking at amphibians and reptiles and also working in different landscapes. Best thing today for India is, I always feel that India is one of the best countries when it comes to amphibians and reptile studies, to that matter. There is an amazing group studying in northeastern part of India. No, I'm not going to take the names here. There are quite a lot of people. No, northeastern India में बहुत अच्छा ग्रुप काम कर रहा है, वेस्टर्न घाट्स में बहुत अच्छा ग्रुप काम कर रहा है, तो ईस्टर्न घाट्स में अभी धीरे धीरे लोग जा रहे हैं, तो ईस्टर्न हिमालय में चल रहा है, ड्राई एरिड लैंडस्केप में चल रहा है. So and there are various groups on which people are. So I feel that you are really pinpointed a very important thing, because much of our understanding of the Indian herpetofauna is based on Western Ghats and northeastern part of India. We don't know much about other landscapes. Okay? And I feel that. And दूसरा क्या होता है ना कि वहाँ बहुत बहुत कुछ मिलता है रे. तो मैं
वो
जाने के
तो
बाद
है
मुझे मिलता है, तो वो भी है. तो क्या होता है, जहाँ ज्यादा है वहाँ लोग जाएंगे, जहाँ कम है
वो
वहाँ
तो
कोई नहीं जाता है. नॉर्दर्न वेस्टर्न घाट्स में कोई नहीं आता है. Nobody comes in northern western Ghats to study amphibians and reptiles. I feel that that is also equally amazing landscape. So I
exactly,
feel
sir.
that no,
Very
forget
amazing.
we should forget about this particular thing. We have to go each and every nook and corner of India to study amphibians.
Very true, sir. Okay, sir. The next question is: we have heard that you have worked with various groups like birds, reptiles, amphibians. What's your favorite group to work with? Like reptiles, amphibians, birds.
I did not work with any other groups than amphibians and reptiles. No,
Okay.
I used to do bird watching. No, bird watching was a different thing, but that bird watching was not. It was a hobby basically. No? But to
Okay,
be
sir.
frank, I only work with. See, I have a limited understanding of insects. I know very little about insects, and then birds, a bit about mammals. But I never worked on anything else than amphibians. As I told you, no, I'm not an intelligent person. I'm not an intellectual person. I can only concentrate on one group. And also in amphibians and reptiles, again, my much of my contribution was on taxonomy. Looking at their characters, trying to understand that, and do something with with them. And that is also with some lizards and Sicilians. Nothing.
Okay, sir. So, do you have any favorite lizard or Sicilian, which is favorite to you?
Yeah, I think everything is favorite to me. There is no favoritism.
Okay.
You can't be favorite with animals, because so everything like,
Each and every individual is beautiful.
yeah, I get really happy when I see some ant. You know, tiger is okay. I do feel happy. I never saw tiger, so I never saw a wild tiger in my life, so I don't know how to express that. I don't have that feeling about tigers, but I feel that every individual is equally. It's like now see, unfortunately, this favoritism creates quite a lot of issues. One is, everybody loves king cobra, okay, but I like blind snakes. So it's individual perception. I think. What do you
Great,
say?
sir. Great. Okay, sir. The next question. Generally, we know fieldwork is very important for herpetofauna. How should
But
one
what can you please
fieldwork?
repeat? Fieldwork.
Fieldwork
Okay.
is very important for herpetofauna. How should one plan his fieldwork for his study purposes?
Okay, it's a very interesting question because see, as I told you, we don't know anything about them. We don't know their names. We don't know what they eat. We don't know where do they live, what kind of habitat they prefer. Are they venomous or poisonous? Anything. No information is available for many of the known amphibians and reptiles. Suppose if you want to study something, if you want to study amphibians and reptiles seriously in India, I feel the first very important thing, you should have a question. The question is why I'm studying it, why I want to study it. That's very important. Like, it's not fun. No, अब मेरे को देखने का है is not a question. So why I want to study it, that is very important. And once you have that question, you can ask the second question, sub question, and that is how I am going to study it. मुझे क्यों करना है, अगर समझो अभी क्यों करना है, why I want to study it का, if you have the answer that I want to study the diversity of amphibians and reptiles, that is your question. Okay, then how I'm going to do it? I will visit a particular habitat in various time. I will go there in the day, I will go there in the afternoon, I will go there in the night, no, and then I will go in different seasons. Then and then only I will have a proper understanding because amphibians and reptiles are seasonal. There are many amphibians which are active during a particular season. After that, you don't see them. So, getting a proper understanding of amphibians and reptiles, we need to have a proper planning. Okay. So, first question, why, how, and when. These are the three important things, I think. And once you have all these things, I request everyone that you are going into the field with a proper permission from the respective authorities.
Yes.
Here I'm talking about forest department.
First
If
one.
you don't have the permission, don't do anything. No, don't do any work because see, without permission, we should not be doing it because we are handling these animals. No, we are catching them, we are trying to identify them, we are trying to photograph them. Without that, you can't identify them. And for that, you need to have a proper forest department. People say that no, department doesn't give me the permission. No, believe me, the forest department is really proactive in helping people. Now,
Great,
people may
sir.
have a different opinion about it, but I never had the problem with the department. So, without their permission, please don't enter the forest, don't catch them. Okay, you have the permissions. Don't catch the animals unnecessarily. What happens now? मेरे पास अरे permission है क्या करने का जो भी frog पकड़ सांप पकड़ उसको रख ये कर don't do that. No. So see if you got the permission to study elephants, are you going to catch it and no, do a photo shoot with the elephants? You are not going to do that because elephants are not so easy. Why we do the same? Why we give the bad treatment to elephants? We should not be giving. See, if you need a photograph for a good purpose, do it, but don't torture the animal to the extent that the animal should feel that tell Asala, I don't want these people. Humans are really bad. Don't do that.
True, sir. Okay, sir. Another question. This is a very important question for me. There are various people who are not from science background but want to continue in this field. What are your tips and suggestions?
Okay. I did my master's in entomology. Okay.
Okay, sir.
So I have a science background. But is it really a background? No, it is not. Because I am studying amphibians and reptiles and I studied something else as a student. No? So what I studied is not helping me today. I don't feel that you need any background. What background you need is a pure love for a group which you want, dedicated efforts to understand those animals. If you have these two things, I think you can do wonders. There are many examples. The best example I want to give it here is Dr. Salim Ali, one of the famous bird expert No, no background. Romulus
Okay.
Whittaker. Today, these are the figures. No, J.C. Daniel, one of the prominent herpetologists. No background. He is. Today, we looked at his book and we are studying it. Malcolm
Very
Smith.
good, sir.
Malcolm Smith was a doctor. He wrote three books on reptiles, which we still using it. Ashok Captain is another example. No, just a BSc graduate, but he's a prominent figure. How many examples you want? Many examples. So I don't feel that you need a background. What you need is the zeal to understand the subject and a dedicated, feeling from inside to do something.
Okay, sir. Now I'm gonna read some names, scientific names. Pardon me for my pronunciation. Giris geckoella, Cryptodactys Varad Giri, Giris bronzeback.
Ceratodactylus. Or
Okay,
Ceratodactylus.
Ceratodactylus Varad Giri, Giris bronzeback tree snake, Dendrelaphis giri, Giris day gecko, Nemaspis giri. These are the three reptiles that have been named after you. If you can say some words about these three, share some
There are
experience
more.
about these.
There is one more. There is one more. I think it's called Hemidactylus varagiri.
Okay, sir. I'm really
Okay.
sorry for
So,
not including it.
to be frank, uh, see, I feel that this is one way of, like, all these species are, they got this particular name, you know, because the people who described them, they thought that Bharat Giri has contributed something to it, and as a token of appreciation, that particular species was named after Bharat Giri, basically. No? I don't feel that I deserve that kind of recognition as such, because you need to have a tremendous contribution in this field, and the people who did it, I'm really thankful to them, because see, when I joined this subject, probably in 19, not probably in 1999, it was my dream to describe one species in my life. Okay,
Now you have
and
four, sir.
no, describe,
Okay,
like,
describe. You
yeah,
have
yeah, yeah.
described
And I
many.
think
I can't
then there are
count.
quite a few I described in my life, and believe me, see, this makes you immortal. That's all.
You
And
are immortal in our
no,
hearts,
no, no.
sir.
Rather than immortal, I feel that no, this is one way of appreciating efforts. I don't know how to put it. I don't know, but I'm really satisfied. I'm really happy. I'm really thankful to the people who thought that I'm worth this recognition.
Okay, sir.
Because see,
And
uh, to be frank, uh, the identity of Varad Giri, there will not be Varad Giri if there are no Africans and reptiles. So they are there. That's why my identity. Okay. So amphibians and reptiles were there before me, and they will remain after me as well. Okay. I'm nothing. Okay, to be frank, they are important. So they gave me the recognition. I'm recognized because of that. So I feel happy that अगर उनकी वजह से मुझे को तो जिंदगी में एक identification for the identity. So it's a great moment.
really, sir. And sir, I guess you are from Maharashtra and you are right now in Maharashtra, sir. Sir,
Yes.
how's the situation back there? I know it's pretty tough.
Yeah, for 40 days, I'm sitting in my house. No, I don't know what is happening outside. I stopped watching television, news. I don't read no anything related to Corona which comes on my. I don't read it, because see, sitting in my house and reading about it is not going to solve any problem. That's not going to help anyone in any way. There are people who are seriously fighting this problem. There's a government who is seriously doing it. There are doctors, there are police, there are these safai kamgar jo bhi hai. All these people are trying, putting their life at
Well said,
risk
sir.
to protect us. So I'm just sitting happily in my house, feeling uh, ashamed of not doing anything. So this is one way I'm trying to engage myself.
Great, sir. Okay, we are very pleased to have you, sir, taking today's
Thank you.
webinar.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
Bharat sir
So
will be addressing. Yes, sir.
can we
We are
start
going.
the presentation?
Yes, sir. We can start.
Okay.
Bharat sir will be addressing to all the questions at the end of the presentation. You can people can put the questions in the comment box. And
Sanka,
sir. Over
Sanka,
to you.
one
Yes,
more
sir.
thing.
Yes, sir.
One more thing. Okay,
Hmm.
you have to remember this. If you call me sir, I'm going to stop this presentation here itself.
ठीक है भैया सर नहीं बोलेंगे.
I'm not sir. Okay, I'm just Varad. Okay.
ओके
Okay.
भैया
Anyways,
ठीक है.
let's talk about the group which I think we need to talk. Okay.
ओके सर.
Yeah.
ओवर टू यू सर.
Yeah. Thank you. Give me 2 minutes. I can't. My eyes are gone. Pardon me, friends. Hey, don't look at this. It's a bit broken. Okay. Okay, guys. We are at the main topic today, an introduction to the Indian Sicilians. Okay, so I'm going to talk about the Sicilians, which I know properly. There is one group which I really don't know anything about it. Uh, I will do some. I will do talk a bit about it, but there is no picture. Is here nothing, and we'll see what that is in course of time. So let's talk about one group of amphibians, which is not known to science, or not sorry, not known to many people. How many of you really heard a word called Sicilian in the past? No, I'm sure there are many people they must not have heard a word called Sicilian. Okay, so what is Sicilian? It's very important. They are very important component of biodiversity. They are one of the amazing amphibians. They are one of the best group of amphibians with too much of amazing information naturally. And so many things associated with them. And no, I'm just going to talk about Indian Sicilians. I'm going to talk about a bit about them, where you find them, what kind of food they prefer, how to identify them. It's a very simple talk. Because see, and why I'm talking about Indian Sicilians, because in 2001, when we were doing survey in Amboli, one of the famous place, the place which made me what I am today. Uh, we come across one animal wriggling on the road. I was with Vitoba Hegde, one of my very good friend, my first guru who taught me amphibians and reptiles. He was with me, and I was carrying a snake hook and a bucket or a box where we used to collect all these things. Okay. And I had the permission. So it was raining. It was 1:30 midnight, and there was a road, a small road, which was going towards a hotel. We were just walking on that. There was a police station behind, and we were going up. I was holding a torch, and I saw something coming on the road, wriggling on. Okay, and I I was so bored, I was damp, all everything wet. So I asked Vitoba, hey, sir, Vitoba, can you please lift it up? He said, no, that is your job because we both were tired. Okay. So I started lifting it on my snake hook and it started slipping. So I was a bit confused. Like I said, why? Why it is not coming on the snake hook? I went very close, believe me, and tried to catch it. The moment I hold it, it just slipped from my hand. Oh, what is this? This is something interesting. It looks like a snake, but it is not. I've not been able to catch it. What is that? And as I told you, when I joined, I knew nothing about Americans and reptiles. Okay, and this was the beginning. I caught it. Put that in the dabba. I asked Vitoba. Vitoba said, I also don't know. Looks like a Sicilian. Okay. The moment I heard the word Sicilian, I read about it. And I was told by many publications at that particular point of time that Sicilians are eager to see one. It was a Sicilian. I was like so happy, started yelling and dancing on the road. And believe me, that road, the water which was coming on the road was nothing but a gutter which I was just dancing in it, knowing that it is a dirty water. That happiness of finding that animal was so great. That happiness was broken by a policeman who came. By looking at this commotion, he just came there and he asked, "Hey, why, what are you doing here?" You know? So I was trying to convince him, telling him that, "Sir, this is an animal we caught." And it was very interesting. The best expression I ever got in my life was from that policeman. He said, "पागल है क्या? हाँ? हमको क्यों पागल बना रहा है? चल, निकल." So that was my first encounter with Sicilians. After that, I went in BNHS. I read about them. One day, I was really fortunate enough to have Dr. Mark Wilkinson and Dr. David Gower visiting the Natural History Society. Again, it's the beginning in 2000, 2001, yeah, 2002, something like that. So they came there. I was showing them this particular individual. Okay, they were there for a very short period of time. They said, Varad, this is very interesting and we should work on this group. Very amazing work. I said, great, but what to do? I don't know. How to study them? I don't know. They said, just go out and in the field and search for them. Okay. Then I started reading what the literature was quite meager, very few publications, very few things. So what to do was a question. So I decided, let's go. Fortunately, next year we got some more funds, and this time I was accompanied by Vitoba Hegde and one of my best friend Samir Kehimkar. No, he's another person who taught me how to spot animals, how to spot amphibians and reptiles. His skill of spotting these animals in the field is unmatchable. If you are with him, he's an amazing guy. Next to him, person I can think of is Akshay Khandekar. Akshay has an amazing skill. And Swapnil Pawar, these are the people whom I look forward to be with them in the field because these are the people who spot the things like anything. And if you're moving in the night, Ishan Agarwal is the best person. Aishan, okay. Coming back to Sicilians. No? So they told me this is very interesting. Next year we went there, we went to Amboli, and in Amboli, we decided to look for Sicilians. But what to do? Nothing was known. So we used to turn rocks, logs, everything. And on the third day, I lifted a very small, this much sized rock, and I saw something, coiled below that rock. It was not an earthworm. It was not the Sicilian which I caught earlier. It was something else. It was purplish in color with white rings on it. Amazing looking individual. Okay. And immediately I came to know that it is not earthworm, but it is a Sicilian. Why? I will tell you again. Okay, so I got it. I got it to BNHS. No, that time I never had a microscope. I used to use that. Watchmakers use that glass. I used to use that glass. Took some good photographs, and I draw the head, everything, and I sent all these things, that information to Mark and David, saying that I tried to identify this, but I'm not been able to because it looks very, very distinct, very different. I don't know. Believe me, next day I got the reply from them. They said, Varad, this is really very interesting. And we are coming to India. Let's study this together. They came to India in 2002. We studied that particular individual seriously. They taught me how to do taxonomy of Sicilian, how to count the ring, how to look at their measurements and blah, blah, blah. Everything was taught by them to me. And that was the amazing eye opener. And then, believe me, that individual turned out to be the new species. In 2003, one of my first paper which got published, that paper was on Sicilians. It was a new species of Sicilian called Giganiophis danieli. That paper was published in 2003. That is like an ice-breaking thing. That opens up quite a lot of things to me. And after that, whenever we used to go, unfortunately, I was with Vitoba, Ishan, and Samir, and all these people. Whenever I used to go to the field, and no, then we started looking at Sicilians. Sicilians are amazing. So we did a small project funded by for small grants and Ministry of Environment and Forest, Government of India, looking at Sicilians of Northern Western Ghats. Okay. In due course of time, we described a few new species of Sicilians as well, and also had the opportunity to encounter, see many Sicilians, to study many Sicilians, and that's why I'm going to talk about Sicilians. That doesn't make me an expert, but I know a bit about this group. That's why I'm talk about Sicilians. This is one way of expressing my understanding of Sicilians. Okay, now the question is how to identify Sicilians. Before that, ask the question like how to identify amphibians. And I'm not going to answer that question here. But you know that there are three different kinds of amphibians. There's one group which doesn't have hands and legs. Okay, there's one group which has a tail in their adults as well, and there is third group which doesn't have a tail in their adult condition. Okay, these are the three groups. The first group, which doesn't have limbs, is called as poda. Poda is legs, is absence. Okay, and second group is tail, that is called as podata. And here the example is salamanders and newts, because the adults have the tail. Anura, frogs and toads. Okay, And for the first example, where apodas are there, the amphibians without hands and legs are called as apoda. The example is Sicilians. Okay, okay. So this is a group of amphibians which separately put in a different order called or gymnophila. So I think when the Sicilians were first encountered, they were called as snakes. After that, they went into different things. Somebody considered them as limbless salamanders, and so forth. But at one point, it has been proved that they are amphibians. They are not snakes. They are amphibians. They have a separate group, separate order. That is Apoda or Gymnophila. So what is Gymnophila again? No? So gymnos means naked and ophios is a snake. Okay. So they look like snake. Their appearance is exactly like a snake. Elongated body. They move like a snake, but they are not snake because there are no scales on their skin. The skin is not covered with scales. The skin is naked. That's why it is gymnophila. Okay. Believe me, it's amazing group, but highly neglected until now. See, if you count the number of people studying amphibians and reptiles in India, I think there are quite a few people, many people. How many people seriously studying Sicilian? One or two? This is where my word neglected comes from. We need many people to just look at Sicilians. I think we need that. Second thing, now look at these three photos here. Okay, and look at the characters. No, all the three look different. No? What is this? What is this? And what is this? If I ask you what is Sicilian, I think we all will get confused. I'm just trying to make it very simple. Look at this now. So there are rings on the body, okay, and it is throughout. Ring at this end and ring at that end as well. So I'm just zooming it a bit so that you can see it. Can you see it now? There are rings here and there are rings here as well. So you don't see any you don't see any head-like things there. This is not a vertebrate. This is a invertebrate. This is a arthro. Okay, look at this. There are there are eyes. Sorry, you can see tiny eyes here. They are under the scales. There are scales. There is a jaw. Everything. This is a blind snake. Okay, and you can see the scales here. Surely it is not an amphibian. It is a reptile. It is a blind snake. Okay. So I'm trying to tell you that how Sicilians can be differentiated. You will get confused Sicilians with blind snakes, but when if you see the scales on their body, it is not a Sicilian. It is a blind snake. And if there are rings throughout at both the ends, it is not a Sicilian. It is a harpoon. Very simple, no? And this is what is a Sicilian. This is how the Sicilian works. There are rings on the body. See this. This is the head. There are no rings on the head. Okay, that's why it is not a earthworm. And here there is an eye. I'll show you some more figure. There is a jaw. So this is how we differentiate between Sicilians and other groups. Okay, closely related groups, I'll say. Okay. Now the question is: are Sicilians rare or they common? Believe me, Sicilians are not rare. Look at much of the publications. They say that Sicilians are one of the rarest amphibians. And I used to read that a lot until I personally started looking at them. Okay, believe me, when I started looking at them, I realized that they're not uncommon, they're really common. Their apparent rarity is directly related to the fieldwork we do, amount of efforts we put in to look at Sicilians. Sicilians are not seen without the efforts. Okay, if you want to see the Sicilian, we need to turn the rocks, need to rake the leaf litter, you need to do the digging, and that has to be done on a large scale because they are not confined to one place, they are everywhere. So to understand them, look at them, we need to do all these things. Then you will realize that they are very common. See, this is in this photo. I am holding. These are 21 individuals of a species of Sicilian called Cheshire Sicilian, which is known from northern Western Ghats. Okay, and these 21 individuals we got under a small rock. Photograph taken by Swapnil Pawar, one of my good friends, and Ravindra Bhambure is a person who first saw them. Believe me, they are not rare. And in that small patch, I think we counted more than 100 Sicilians there. In in half an hour. Okay, so they are not uncommon. They are very common, but they have to put in effort. So I feel that their apparent rarity is directly related to amount of field work, the kind of field work we do. Okay, let's look at the second thing. Okay, what kind of habitats Sicilians prefer? See, these are the questions I also had when I started studying Sicilians long ago. Okay, and we thought of asking a question, like where do we get Sicilians? And we used to we decided one day we were sitting in one village. There we decided let's start from the house itself. Let's go out of the house and start searching for them. So we went out of the house. There's a small place there. We looked for Sicilians and they were there. Okay. Oh, sorry. And then we went out. There is a small field nearby. The Sicilians were there. Then we started climbing. We went out in the forest nearby, and Sicilians were there. After that, we climbed. Like in northern Western Ghats, you come. If you see the northern Western Ghats, is very unique because the mountain tops are quite flat. So these are the lateritic rocky outcrops. Okay, so Sicilians are there as well. Means they are everywhere. Okay, so if you ask me where to look for Sicilian, my answer is they are everywhere. Everywhere doesn't mean that they are on trees because they don't climb. Everywhere means they are burrowing, they are on the ground, they are underground, they are like in varied habitats. They are aquatic as well. The larvae of Ichthyophis, one genus called Ichthyophis, their larvae are aquatic. So means they are in water as well. They are underground as well. They are under rocks. So they are everywhere. No? So they are not common. Let's look at Indian scenario. So there are I think Sicilians are divided in, like as I told you, the order is Gymnophora. They are divided in three different groups. The first group is Ichthyophilidae. It's a family again. The second is Endotypidae. Third is Cichlidae. Okay, believe me, I'm not going to bore you with all this scientific bombardment because I don't believe in talking scientific things uh, when it comes to popularizing certain subject. Okay, so pardon me for that. I'll be making it more simple for people. So there are three different families in which they are divided. Okay, and why? How to identify them? I'm going to talk about it. Okay. Um, I also feel that what we know today about Indian Sicilians, there are around 40 different species of Sicilians known from India, but I feel that this is a tip of the iceberg. There are many species which are not known to science, and I feel that people like you should contribute towards their understanding. Okay, about their biology, nothing is known. When do they lay eggs? Very few. I think we have little bit amount of information for one or two species. That's all, or maybe five or six species. That's all. For that, nothing is known. We have to work hard to understand that. So, what are the options for you when it comes to studying Sicilians? Look at this. There is a taxonomy, there is phylogeny, there is biology, there is ecology. No? Everything is not known. You can contribute tremendously, heavily, all sectors of herpetology, all the sectors of science when you select Sicilian as your study model. No? There is a tremendous future for people who are going to study these things. Okay, there are people who are interested in biochemistry, who are interested in looking at skin content. Sicilian is the best example. Why? I'll tell you. Sicilians don't have ear; they can't hear. Okay, then how do they communicate? They don't have voice. Sicilians don't call. They will not because they are borrowing. Why? How will they call underground? And who is going to listen to that? Okay, there is no call, there is no ear, nothing. So how do they communicate? They must be looking at each other. No, that is also not possible because if you look at the Sicilian, their eyes of Sicilian, they're very tiny, very small. Then how do they communicate with each other? How a boyfriend meets the girlfriend? How two friends meet? How they interact with each other? I'm not going again for the details, but how do they communicate is very question. I feel that they communicate through chemicals. There is a chemical communication. Okay, and that's how they have a very interesting organ called, I'll tell you after some point of time. Okay, so This is how Sicilians are quite interesting. Believe me, if you want to study them, no, it's a tremendous potential. No, look at Sicilian studies in India. Okay, this is a close-up of the head of Sicily. Any Sicilian, if you see, so these are certain things which you will see on their head. Okay, and I'm talking about Indian Sicilians here. Yeah. Okay, so a close-up will tell you that there is a nair or a nostril. Okay, there is a tiny eye here. Look at this huge head and look at the eye. Eye is quite small. That's what I'm saying. Like that sense of sight is not very good. Okay, and look at this organ. This organ is very crucial, very important, very unique for these vertebrates. Probably these are the only land vertebrates which has this organ. This organ is called as tendon. Okay, so this organ is connected to nasal passage. Okay, so nasal passage is again something to do with sense of smell. What are they smelling? They may be smelling the secretions on their skin for inter-specific communication. They may be detecting each other through that particular smell. This is what I personally think. And I think if somebody wants to study what is there in their skin, secretion, what the skin secretion content, I think there is a tremendous potential to ask questions pertaining to their chemical communication. Now, apart from this, these Sicilians live in damp places. So they are always seen uh, in the Western Ghats or in the northeastern part of India. There is one species known from Eastern Ghats. But wherever you see Sicilians, they are always seen in damp places, the places where there is a leaf litter or little bit of water, little bit of moisture. So in dry conditions, we never see. Okay. In these kind of places, there is a chance of fungal growth or growth of bacteria very well. But you will never see Sicilians with any fungal infection. No? There are few chytrid fungus. I think few Sicilians are infected with the chytrid fungus, but that's common for amphibians. There is no other fungal infection which they are known from Sicilians. Means their skin secretion has some antifungal properties, antibacterial properties, and anti-predatory properties, communication, everything. Man, I think Sicilian skin is a tremendous organ to work as a study model. I think it's my humble request to anyone who is keen on studying Sicilians, look at their secretion. I'm sure we'll publish some amazing papers. Okay. Now, what are the characters? As I told you, this is the eye, this is the nostril, this is the eye. Sorry, this is the nostril, this is the eye, this is the tentacle. Sorry. Okay. So look at this. This is the jaw, this is the jawline. Okay. This is the lower jaw, this is the upper jaw. There is a first ring. I'll talk about these rings. Okay. If you open this jaw, the, the upper jaw, there are two rows of teeth. And on the lower jaw, there are two rows of teeth. As identification, we count their number as well. Okay, so this is something very interesting. Apart from that, look at this. This is the first ring that is called as nuchal groove on the neck region. This is the second nuchal groove. This is the third nuchal groove. First nuchal groove. This is the second nuchal. So these are some of the characters which are there on their head. Okay. Second thing, their body has rings. Their body is covered with rings. These rings are called annuli. Okay. So there are certain annuli which are very closely spaced. There are annuli which are distant. We need to look at these characters as well to identify Sicilians. Okay. So this is something very interesting. Okay. By looking at the characters which I mentioned before some time, I'm trying to discuss here about uh, the identification of Sicilians and little bit about them. So the first genus is Ichthyophis. No? Family Ichthyophidae, the genus is Ichthyophis. Now, how to identify Sicilians belong to the genus Ichthyophis? Very simple. No? They have a very elongated body. Look at their tail; they have a very short tail. Check their rings; they are very closely spaced. No, and apart from that, now look at this: the position of nostril, eye, and tentacle. If I draw a triangle, no, I can make a triangle here. I can draw a straight line from eye to nostril. The tentacle is below that. No? So this is how we are using. These are the things, characters we use them use for identification of Sicilians in India. Okay. Now talking about this particular genus called Ichthyophis, there are quite a few species in India. I don't know the number here. But now, if you check, I think this is one of the prominent groups. There are many species of Ichthyophis known from Western Ghats. There are quite a few species known from northeastern part of India. Now, this is disjunct distribution. That is, I think, in Eastern Ghats, I don't feel that there are Ichthyophis known from there. Okay, I've seen photographs from few places. I've seen photographs. I heard of people talking about Ichthyophis like animal from Satpuras, but no, nothing has been known until now. So interestingly, these are the characters we use. In this particular genus, there are two different kinds of Sicilians, two different kind of Ichthyophis in India. One which has a yellow lateral stripe, one lacks that. Based on that, there are two different groups. One is called unstriped form, one is striped form. In striped form, there are different species. In unstriped form, there are different species. Now, how people distinguish these species? For that, what we do, no, I'll just go back. We count these rings. The scientists, the researchers, the experts who want to identify, study Sicilians, they count these rings. Their number of rings on the top of the pack, number of rings, like the ring goes around. We count those rings. Interestingly, if you look at these rings, the other groups we have a different kind of rings. We also count those rings. Okay, so their number of rings is one character, and their arrangement of identical is another character. There are various measurements which tells us that this is okay. So where to find Ichthyophis now? Look at their eyes. Eyes are kind of visible, and I feel that these are the terrestrial Sicilians. No, my personal example. I was studying Sicilians near Coena. Sorry, I'm in that reference doing some survey near a place called Coena Wildlife Sanctuary. One night we decided to drive down towards the coastal region, leaving the Western Ghats Mountains. There is a flat land. We wanted to explore that particular area as well. And while we going down, we saw something coming on the road. We stopped our car. It was raining quite heavily. Went out and I saw, oh, there was one Sicilian. I was really happy. Yeah, a great Sicilian and blah, blah, blah. And again, we removed that Sicilian from there. We went ahead. I think in another 2 minutes, we saw two, three coming on the road. Believe me, we counted not less than 100 individuals which came on the road in a span of 2 kilometers. That tells us that they are not rare. But this happens only during the rainy season. When there is rain happening, they tend to come on the ground, and you may see them. Otherwise, spotting them is really really very difficult. Okay, so this is one of the largest Sicilian, probably known from India. This is Ichthyophis bombayensis. Okay, it's Bombay Sicilian. So one of the largest individual we have. I think there is one individual, one specimen in Bombay Natural History Society, which measured around 3 feet in length. That is one of the huge Sicilians known from India. The largest Sicilian known from the world is Sicilia from. Sorry, just Google the largest Sicilian in India. You will not believe the size. Just Google it. I'm not disclosing it. This is a thing for you. Just go and search for the longest Sicilian in the world. You will never believe that Sicilians grew to that level. Because I'm just talking about Indian Sicilians. There are wonderful Sicilians in other parts of the world. This is how Ethiopians are distinguished. This is a bit about them. Interestingly, these Ethiopians, these Sicilians, lay eggs. Okay, and when they lay their eggs, they make the small egg chamber very close to a water source, maybe a stream, okay, or a small river. They make a small egg chamber there. The female sits with the eggs. Okay, she coils herself around the eggs and she sits there. And so, if you look at any picture of Sicilian, that is one of the famous drawings there everywhere in all the textbooks. People talk about it. Okay, interestingly, I used to get these schools or colleges visiting Bombay Natural History Society when I was there, and I was told by many zoology teachers that there are no Sicilians in India, but there are Ethiopians. Okay, this is something cool because in the book there is a mention of Ichthyophis, but Ichthyophis is one genera of Sicilian. Nobody mentioned that. So this is the problem of Sicilian. They're highly neglected. We really don't know. Okay. So once when the female sits with the eggs, when the eggs hatch, the larvae come out, and those larvae slowly enter. Okay. And interestingly, these larvae look a bit different than their number of rings remain the same, but their tail is flat and there is a tail fin. Their tentacle is exactly below the eye. And as they metamorphose, the tentacle goes ahead and it comes in between nostril and eye. This is how their metamorphosis takes. This is very amazing, amazing. I'm sure, I think once you start looking at them, believe me, you do well. Second group, second genus. The genus is called Eriot. Now, as I told you, if I draw a straight line, the tentacle comes. Remember that. Okay, this is another group. Look at this again. The rings are a bit distantly spaced. If I draw a straight line, I don't see a tentacle anywhere here. कहाँ गया? Disappear हो गया? No, tentacle is exactly below the nostril. See this. This is where the tentacle is. So if you have a Sicilian from India, which has kind of distantly spaced rings and a short tail and tentacle exactly below the nostril, we can confidently say that it is Eriot. Okay, so this particular the Sicilians of this genus are known from southern Western Ghats. The northernmost probably report is from Coorg in Karnataka. Otherwise, they are further south. No? They are quite common in southern part of the Western, especially in Kerala. They are one of the commonest. Okay, so look at these characters. This makes them unique. You know? So see identification. People say that hey, the taxonomy of Sicilian is very difficult. Believe me, it is not. It's very simple. No, I think if you spend a little bit of time, you can do wonders. Third genus called Indotyphus. Now look at the tail here. The cloacal aperture is somewhere here. The tail is quite rounded. No, here the tail is quite long. Here the tail is rounded. Means tail is absent. Rings are distantly spaced. No, they are not compactly spaced. Rings are distantly spaced. Tail is rounded. Okay, they belong to a different family called Indotyphlidae. Okay, in that there is a genus called Indotyphlis. Now, how to identify the genus Indotyphlis? Look at this. This is a nostril. What is this? This is a nostril. This is the eye, and this is the tentacle. If I draw a straight line, tentacle exactly all the three comes on in a single line. So this is one of the unique characters to identify genus Indotyphus in India. This genus is endemic to northern Western Ghats, to be precise, and this is how they are identified. Okay, I have a very interesting story pertaining to. There's one species. When I started, there was only one species known from India, and that was Indotyphus battersby. Okay, the type locality is Lonavala and Khandala, which is one of the famous tourist destinations close to Bombay and Pune. Okay, and that was the only thing. There were few specimens in BNHS. After that, nothing was known. So we visited a place called Mathiran. This is another field station uh, near Bombay. Okay, we went there and see again all these field surveys. I was lucky to have people like Samir Kihimkar, because Ishan Agarwal. One day we were there and I heard Samir say, "Hey, Varad, come here. There's some interesting thing." I went there. There was a small, gutter-like thing which was covered with leaf litter, and he just removed few leaves and there's quite tiny, tiny Sicilians were there. I was really impressed. Oh, this is very interesting. Let's search for it. Then we started searching for it, and in a span of half an hour, four of us recorded 86 individuals, different individuals of Sicilian, in a small patch there in Mathura. And all were babies, all were juveniles. Then we decided to search, and I visited that place on multiple occasions. And interestingly, the babies are always on top, and the adults are in nearby forest. We never saw adults coming up. Why? Nobody knows. Don't you feel that this is a very interesting question? A nice study can be formulated to understand why there is a niche separation, why the adults and juveniles don't live together. Are they cannibalistic? I'm sure they must be. But is that the reason why they are separating like this? Do they lay eggs or do they give birth to young ones? The thing is no. Don't you feel that this is an amazing opportunity to understand one of the unknown athletics in the world? And for that, you don't have to go into the deep forest. Just go to Mathura, with a can of beer. You can go out and beer. You can observe Sicilians. You don't have to do much of the activity to go to study these animals. Okay. Again, no, these are some of the characters. Again, if you look at their eyes, no, eyes are faintly visible. Okay, these are faintly visible because there is a layer of skin over their eyes. Because these are strict burrowers. These Sicilians rarely come on. That's why they don't need vision as such. Their eyes are covered with skin. Okay, so this is one of the interesting characters. Let's move to a different group. Okay. It looks like in It looks like this particular Sicilian, but it is not. It is something different. Tail is absent, rings are distantly spaced, but can you see the eye here? It's very faintly visible. Why so? Eye is faintly visible because it is below the skull bone. Okay, and apart from that, if I draw a straight line from eye to nostril, the tentacle is below, not on that line. That's why it is a different genus called Digeniophis, whatever you say. Okay, so these are also smaller size Sicilians. They are quite common in the Western Ghats. There is one species known from Eastern Ghats that is called Giganiophis orientalis, known from a locality in Odisha and Andhra Pradesh. Okay, so to be frank, these are again cool Sicilians because there's one species of Giganiophis called Giganiophis ramaswamii, very common in southern part of the Western Ghats. Is oviparous. It lays eggs. Okay? There is one species in northern part of the Western Ghats called Giganiophis sechachari. It gives birth to the young ones. In one genre, this is the diversity of breeding. This is how they reproduce. Don't you feel that is amazing? I feel that those Sicilians are amazing in every aspect. One of the best model. If you want to understand natural history, Sicilians are the best. Again, everything is good, but Sicilians are equally good. Good because nothing is known about them, because you can ask multiple questions and get answers to them. So their breeding strategies are very interesting. They are not uncommon. As I told you, no, Giganopus statuary. We got around how many? 21 individuals. One rock, on a dry plateau. Quite common. They're not rare. Again, we have to understand them in greater details because there are around 10 to 11 species of Giganopus known from India. This genus is again endemic to India. Okay, from Eastern Ghats and Western Ghats, and uh, nothing is known about them except Ramaswamy lay eggs and Shishachari is live bearing. Nothing is known about the rest of the species. We only know the names. What kind of habitat they prefer, what do they feed, where do they live, what happens to them after, excuse me, non-monsoon season. Nothing is known. I think this is the time, and we have to look at all these questions. Thanks. Okay, this is all about their taxonomy, their identification. There is one more family called Cicciulidae, which is known from northeastern part of India. And to be frank, I never saw that individual in my life. Dr. Chun Kamai is one of the well-known herpetologists. She and with her team described a new family called Chiquilidae from northeastern part of India, and now they gave different characters. That Chiquilidae also looks like Giginophis superficially, but the characters are a bit different. So whenever you come across a Giginophis like animal in northeastern part of India, I think you are sure that it is you may be sure that it is not Giginophis but Chiquila. Okay, so Chiquilidae has a genus called Chiquila. That family has one genus called Chiquila. That genus is only known from northeastern part of India. This is all about their identification, how to search for them, what to do about them, everything. I am trying to mention it here. And this is a small presentation. Probably, if anybody wants this presentation, please let me know. I will share it with you people, or I will put it on some open platform where more people can download this. And this is a bit about introduction to Sicilians of India. Okay. Um, uh, If you have any questions, probably we can no we can take it further. Yeah, we can discuss about it. No?
Yes, sir.
Uh,
Let's go to the Facebook comments.
1 minute, I'm just coming out of this.
Sure, sir.
Okay, I'm here now. Can I'm just continuing that presentation there. If needed, we can. No?
Okay, sir. As you wish.
1 minute, I'll just take it to the first slide so that it looks professional.
Okay, sir. Great. Many people have wished you a very good evening and hello. So I'm jumping. Okay. Krishnendu Bhattacharya says, that's a nice Baba haircut. Welcome, Bharatda.
I think I'll meet him separately.
Devanda has commented the
ये
Paresh
साला
Rawal wala
हेयरकट
hair.
के बारे में मत बोलो यार. I think let's talk about Sicilians, man. So I will
Okay,
have a separate
okay.
session about haircut and all that thing. No? So let's, if you have any questions, if people want to ask something,
Yes,
probably
sir.
I'll think. Okay,
Sohail Malik
so
has a
1 minute.
question.
1 minute.
Okay.
1 minute. So I think I missed a very important thing. You asked one question like, what was my first publication? I missed it. Okay, so my first publication was on birds. The range
Ah.
extension of Ceylon frogmouth from Maharashtra. The first record of Ceylon frogmouth is a bird called Ceylon frogmouth.
Hmm.
The first report of Ceylon frogmouth from northern Western Ghats or range extension of Ceylon frogmouth. No, because before that, the Ceylon frogmouth was known from Goa. So ours was the first report of Ceylon frogmouth from the northern Western Ghats. That was my first, no, short note, scientific short
Uh,
note. Yeah.
okay. So Sohail Malik has a question. Are these venomous? I guess he's asking if the Sicilians are venomous or
No,
maybe
Sicilians.
poisonous.
No, no poisonous Sicilians are known from India or known in the world. I don't feel that Sicilians. I think there are one or two Sicilians. They bite you. Otherwise, they are really docile. They are very friendly. They don't bite you as well. So they're not poisonous also. They're not
Okay.
poisonous or venomous Sicilians. Yeah.
Shorja Sarkar, are they harmful for other animals, humans, and what do they feed on?
So what is harmful basically? No, harmful is I don't feel that. No, see the only species which is harmful to every other species is humans. If I'm not wrong. Okay, so I don't feel that Sicilians are harmful to anyone. No, but as I told you, no, they don't have hands and legs. No, they are defenseless. So what they do, their skin secretion, like if it goes into your eyes, that hurts a lot. I have that personal experience. It is like formalin going into your eyes. No? So I feel that no, that is something which is really that could be one of the protective measures they have. Otherwise, I don't feel that there is a problem anyways. Okay, and what do they feed on is a very interesting question. Sicilians are detritus, means they feed on dead and decaying organic matter. Okay, that is what the science tells us. That's what we know. There are quite a few examples. One of my friend who is a forest officer in Goa, he observed a very interesting behavior. He saw them. No, he saw one Sicilian feeding on a live baby of a green keelback. Okay, and in captivity, people feed them with mutton, dead animals, whatever they eat. They also like earthworms a lot.
Okay. Okay. Shaikat has a question. They are looking so similar like an earthworm. Have they evolved like this to confuse the predators?
No, because see, evolution is a demand and supply business. Nothing to confuse. And see, talking about evolution, I'm not the right person to discuss that. I'm not well versed with evolution and all that kind of thing. But I feel that borrowing nature has many advantages and disadvantages as well. The advantages are you have less competition there because there are very few borrowing vertebrates. Okay? So they started borrowing because there is less competition for food. They must be getting ample amount of earthworms there to eat. So there was less competition. Well, that could be one of the reasons. them being borrowing. Uh, no, I don't feel that confusing predator could not be a strategy of the evolution.
Okay, sir. And regarding, sir, the largest Sicilian, most probably the scientific name is Cecilia thompsoni.
Yeah, it's called
And
Sicilian.
the Wikipedia says it grows up to 1.5 meters of length.
Yeah. Look at the
That's
pictures, man. Look at go to Google and look at the pictures. Like you'll see people holding a big long Sicilian in their hand, and it looks quite
exactly,
proud.
sir. It's like
Huge, huge.
huge. It's huge. Okay, another question from Saikat. Where are Sicilians found in West Bengal? Can you name some of them which have distribution in Bengal?
It's like to be frank, I really don't know. I don't feel that there are Sicilians reported from Bengal until now. I think it's your job to go and search for them. Probably you will be the first person to report Sicilians from West Bengal. I think in northeastern part of India, there are various. I think there are quite a few species known from different states. They are mostly from northeastern part of India. Hmm. Like there are species known from Sikkim, Meghalaya, Manipur, Tripura, Mizoram. I don't know what West Bengal and Nagaland, Arunachal Pradesh. Uh, Species are known, but not aware of any species known from West Bengal. Anybody knows, please know, uh, enlighten me with that information. It'd be a great
Okay.
thing. Yep.
Okay. Mohandas has a question. Are earthworms different from Sicilians? I guess they definitely are.
Yes, sir, they are because earthworms belong to a different group of animals. They are called as annelids, and annelida is a group which is invertebrate. Invertebrate means they don't have bones. They don't have vertebral column. They don't have bones. They are boneless animals. Okay, earthworms and Sicilians have bones because they are amphibians. They are vertebrates. They have the bones. They have the jaw. They have teeth. They have the eyes, which earthworms lack. So both are two different things.
Okay. Devan has a question. What do they eat?
Why are you hitting my head? That itself indicates that Devayan is not listening to this talk. Probably he's chatting. He's chatting with his girlfriend. Ah, Devayan. No, I think I discussed this matter before some time. Okay, so yeah.
Okay, we have a very interesting question from Arpita De. Do Sicilians possess the power of regeneration?
Wow, this is a very cool question. Okay, Arpita, no, so power of regeneration is known in various amphibians. Okay, especially in tadpoles. The tadpoles can regrow quite a lot of their things, and in adults, salamanders or newts are known to regrow their hands, their tail, legs, and so on and so forth. But in Sicilians, I don't feel that there are any organs like that. No? So they don't have a choice to cut their organs. So they can't cut any of their organs. They cut their tail. I don't feel that there is something there in their tail which is essential for them. So I don't feel that they have a ability to cut any part of their body. So regeneration, I don't feel that is known. It is out of question as per my knowledge.
Okay, Sanchit More has a question. Dada, where to look for them exactly? Considering Matheran, we visit there many times but came across only once.
Sanchit, I think you know this place called Paymaster Park in Mathiran. Okay, if you go to Paymaster Park in Mathiran during the monsoon, just go there and turn the leaf litter there. Believe me, the Sicilians are there. Unfortunately, what happened, so once we went there and the entire park was clean. Okay, there was no leaf litter and no
Okay.
Sicilians naturally. So I think and we searched in the forest there and they are there. So the problem, Sanchit, is we need to do a heavy duty field work for Sicilians. So we need to dig a lot. See, believe me, like I'm really lucky in my life to have great people who accompanied me in the field work. I will name them like Hemant Ugle, Mahadev Bise or Kaka Bise, Baba Korgaonkar or Rohan Korgaonkar. No, Swapnil Pawar is my companion throughout the field trips. Then Ishan Agarwal is there. Then Tamir Kemkar, Ravindra Bhamble, Harish Kulkarni, all these people, they enriched my understanding of Sicilians because when we used to, like Dhananjay Jadhav is one more friend of me. from Golapur. So all these people, whenever we go out in the field, we all used to look for them. You know? And then only we came across so many Sicilians. It's not a job of Varad Giri. No, Varad Giri is just a representative. I'm just an ambassador. No, I'm just a public relation officer. These are the people who are responsible for my understanding of Sicily. So we need to look at them heavily, do heavily to feel dirty.
Okay, sir. The next question is, any guesses on why young ones have separate niche?
Okay, can I disclose that? So once we wanted to photograph these Sicilians, and we're talking about endogenous batters. So once we collected a few adults from the nearby forest, okay, and in the same jar there are two adults I collected, big size. They're like quite large. I was impressed. I wanted to know, are these females and they have like eggs or what? So I just collected them. Okay, and then we came up in the same place where we saw the juveniles. Okay, and we got some three, four juveniles as well. We collected two juveniles. There were two adults and two juveniles, and we kept them in a jar. And we used to keep them very nicely. The jar was quite nice with small holes for ventilation, but nothing more than that. So we did that. The jar was kept. The next day, we wanted to check like the condition of these Sicilians because amphibians need a wash because we wanted to keep them for observation and we wanted to bring them back and leave them there. Next day, when I opened the jar, only adults were there. And one
Oh,
adult was looking a bit fatter. Okay, so
okay.
I haven't seen that, but it is my guess that there is cannibalism happening. Uh, there must be a competition, there must be the adults must be feeding on juveniles. So that could be one of the reasons why there is a niche separation. This is another, it's a wild guess that doesn't, please don't take it directly. This is one thing, and probably to avoid the competition as well. Because see, in the forest there are quite a lot of predators. There's so many other things which are less in the open place. Probably that is the reason why there is a separation as well. But I think this is one of the amazing questions, which can open a lot of avenues for doing research. Yeah.
Okay. The next question is, important of Sicilians. Why
Why,
Sicilians are important?
why Sicilians are important? Sicilians are important because without them, I would not have been here. I would not have given this talk. Jokes apart. Sicilians
Point
are one
made.
of the, yeah, Sicilians are one of the important components of subterranean life. They are there underground. They are maintaining the population of probably earthworms to certain level, and apart from that, they are the food for other burrowing animals as well, which has not been studied, but I'm sure there must be a very strong interconnection. That is what is an ecological thing. Second thing, presence of Sicilians tells the humans that this is a non-polluted habitat.
Hmm.
This is the habitat where there is less pollution. Because if there is a pollution, amphibians will not survive. So these are the best indicators of quality of the habitat. Probably that is one of the best roles Sicilians are helping us to understand that yes, if there is a Sicilian in water, I think we can drink that water.
Okay. The next question is, are there advantages for agriculture? Are Sicilians advantageous?
See again, yeah, agriculture. I don't feel so because see, earthworms are considered as friends of farmers only because earthworms eat the soil. And when they keep eating that, the soil from bottom comes up. And that's how the circulation of soil happens. I don't feel that Sicilians play that role as well. I don't feel that there is any real advantage of having Sicilians um, as agriculture. But I can tell you that if there are Sicilians in the pond or puddle nearby your field, that indicate that the water is very good, it's less polluted.
Okay. What role do Sicilians play in our ecosystem?
What role Sicilian play our ecosystem? As I told you, these are the burrowing subterranean vertebrates. They are helping us. Um, They're helping that particular ecosystem, basically, uh, that subterranean ecosystem in a way. So they are eating something there and they are being the food for other groups as well. So they are really playing a very important role. See, again, unfortunately, we don't know anything. These are the speculations. These are the things I'm just discussing here out of the information what we have, because we never studied Sicilians to that level. No, to ask or answer so to answer these questions, we need to study them properly. We need to understand them properly. Then and then only, I'm sure we can 100% go to that level. And
Okay. The next question is from Krishnendu Banerjee. Which are the Indian species of Sicilians that show
okay, I'll answer that
viviparity?
question first. One by one, we'll go. Okay, so
Okay.
viviparity is, I don't I never call that as a viviparity. I'll call that as a live bearing trait. No? Is it viviparity or oviviparity is not been proved. So they give birth to the young ones. Okay, only one species which is known from India. That species is Giganophis sechachari, and that is the only known species from Asia which gives birth. Species of amphibian in Asia which gives birth to the young ones, and that could not be related to viviparity. It's a live bearing trait. Okay. Second,
Why there are no Sicilians in parts of Western Himalayas, considering
so
that some regions do suffice the required criterions needed for Sicilians? Is that because of less studies or lack of explorations, or there aren't any chance based on XYZ criteria? Your views and comments.
if you look at the distribution of overall distribution of Sicilians, global distribution of Sicilians, they're pan-tropical. Basically, they are across the tropics. No? So, like you'll see them in the places where there is a wet evergreen or a forest kind of habitat. They are there. Okay, as you go north and south, the temperature also changes, and no, Sicilians are not there in cooler, quite cooler kind of places. No, they're not known from those places. But the recent explorations in northeastern part of India has opened a lot of things for us, and probably, no, to answer your question, Western Himalayas is one of the least explored landscapes. No? So until we explore that landscape, we should not be no, we shouldn't be saying that there are no Sicilians there. So some serious explorations need to be done there, and then only we can come up and answer that question, Krishnendu. Unfortunately, no. Talk about Western Himalayas. I don't feel that that particular landscape is studied for anything. So Sicilians are at the end of the queue, basically. When it comes to amphibians and reptiles, Sicilians are the backbenchers. No, they are never been respected by anyone, including the herpetologists. Okay, so I feel that we need to do explorations to answer this question. And after explorations, if they are not there, then and then we can say that yes, they are not
Okay, so the next question is that larvae have a flattened tail, probably to navigate in water. How can you differentiate them from freshwater eels in that case, which also looks
there.
similar?
Oh, Omkar, yeah, Omkar, this is a very interesting question again. Like if you look at freshwater eels, no, freshwater eels exactly look like Sicilians. I'll tell you one interesting story. Okay, so when we were exploring, doing some Sicilian surveys, no, I saw something going in a compound wall of one house. Okay, and I just saw half of the body disappearing. It looked like Sicilian. I was very impressed. I said, "Man, this is a Sicilian. Let's go and dig." But it was a compound wall of somebody's house. Okay, how to go and search there? तो अगर हम जाके बोलेंगे उधर सिसिलियन का बोलेंगे नहीं नहीं हमें कुछ नहीं करने का बट सी एज आई टोल्ड यू मेरा I was not a very smart student, intelligent student, but I had these nooks and these ideas which मेरे ब्रेन में आता था बचपन से वो है तो जाके वो बंदे को मैंने इतना ही बताया आई टोल्ड दैट पर्सन दैट देयर इज अ स्नेक which went below your compound. He said, "Oh, it's a snake. Let's go and catch it. I don't want snakes here." That was a good option for me to go and search there. So we ransacked that entire wall, and finally I got that particular thing, and that was a swamp eel. Okay, so there
Oh,
is a fish called swamp eel in northern in the Western Ghats region, which looks resembles like Sicilians. Okay, it has a flat tail. Omkar has asked a very amazing question. It has a flat tail. Okay, the swamp lacks rings on the body, which are there in the larvae of Sicilians. The larvae of Sicilians lacks the rings, but the swamp eel, sorry, larvae of Sicilians has the rings, but the swamp eel doesn't. That is one of the
Okay.
very striking characters.
Okay. Next question from Praveen. Can we talk about parental care in Sicilians and any records of juveniles feeding on mother's skin from India?
Yeah, Praveen, thank you, man. This is something very interesting. Nothing is known from India. No, because as I told you, only one species which is known to lay, which is known to give birth to the young ones, that is Giginophis seychelles, and we haven't observed that kind of behavior um, in this particular species. But again, our observations are quite preliminary. We haven't done quite a lot of work on that particular aspect. So at this stage, we don't know any juveniles feeding on mother's skin. Okay. From India. Okay, this is the answer to Pravin's question. Just to elaborate on this, okay, interestingly, Sicilians are one of the amphibians which show quite a lot of parental care. As I told you, two of us, it sits with their babies, sits with their eggs. They remain, the mothers remain with their eggs, and there are many Sicilians. I don't know the genus or anything. South America and probably Africa as well. So there are certain Sicilians. The babies have a tendency once they hatch, the babies these are the live bearing Sicilians. Once the babies come out, the first food of these Sicilians, these babies, is the skin of a mother. Look at the extreme level of parental care. The mother offers her skin to her babies as a food in the beginning. So I don't feel that any other vertebrate has this level of dedication and parental care. So there are Sicilians where which the mothers offer their skin as a food for babies, which is not known from India.
Okay. We have a next question from Alin. Do males have a copulating organ?
Wow, this is another interesting question again. Okay, so when we talk about breeding in amphibians, they have a different strategy. Think of frogs. We always see that there is a male, female, big female, and there is a male sitting on her back, and then the fertilization happens. Then the breeding happens because frogs don't have a male reproductive organ. That copulatory organ is not there in male frogs. So what happens there? When the female is laying eggs, male is sitting exactly above her, no, and both their cloacal aperture they coincide. Okay, and when the female is laying eggs, male sprays, and the fertilization happens externally. There is something called external fertilization. Okay, so in Sicilians, that is not the scenario because Sicilians are borrowing. No, so finding a mate is difficult. Again, doing all this business, going to some place and doing all these things, there is a risk. So Sicilians evolved a step ahead. Male has a male reproductive organ that is called as a phallodium. Okay, and that structure of phallodium is a specific character. By studying the phallodium, male reproductive organ of any Sicilian, you can identify the species as well. So this particular male reproductive organ, which comes out of the cloaca, and male enters that particular phallodium inside the cloaca of a female, and then he deposits the sperm there. There is an internal fertilization, not there. Sicilians are very unique in that way. Yeah, they have a male reproductive organ that is called phallodium.
Okay. Another question from Sanchit. Compared to forest land, how they survive on lateritic plateaus?
Sanjit, this is an amazing question. I never expected Sicilians to be there on lateritic plateaus. So the lateritic plateaus, just for the understanding of the viewers who are here and who don't know what lateritic plateau means. If you come to the northern Western Ghats, well, the mountains are flat. So it's a very interesting. I'm not going to the geological history, but the mountains are very flat, and they are these laterites. The laterite is exposed. Okay, and if you go now during summer, the temperature is really very high. It crosses 60 degrees centigrade. Okay, but if you go visit that same plateau during the monsoon, it metamorphoses to an amazing landscape. That landscape supports quite a lot of diversity, and Sicilians are one of them. So, what happens to those Sicilians after monsoon? We don't know. We don't have a proper answer to this question. And during the monsoon, these plateaus are amazing. I'm sure you must have visited this plateau during the monsoon. And during the monsoon, there is quite a lot of things. There are earthworms, there are so many things. Probably they are, and there is water as well, which is enough for this Sicilian.
Okay, next question from Ritam De. As Sicilians have detritus in their diet, do they have role in biochemical cycle like microbes? Biogeochemical cycle.
I don't know that level of. I'm not a right person. I'm not a competent person to answer this question because no, I really don't know
Okay, sir.
this.
Okay. Orkajati Mukherjee, is matrophagy common in Sicilians or it is restricted to some species only?
I think it is known from Sicilians, and I don't come across any other groups where this kind of behavior has been reported. No, I'm just talking about amphibians again. No, I'm talking about vertebrates. Sicilians are one of the few groups we know where this kind of thing has been reported. I am really not aware of any other groups where mattifag is. If you know, please let me know. Yeah, I don't know. Hello. Hi. Okay, guys. I think this is enough for today. Um, my email ID is varadgiri@gmail.com. And again, no, my phone number is, I think I'm there on Facebook and there on Instagram as well. And follow me on Twitter as well. Okay. So I'm there everywhere. If you have any questions pertaining to students or any other group, please let me know. I'll be more than happy to answer as much as possible. And thanks the organizers for this wonderful opportunity. Thank you very much.
Most probably we had some network issues. Hold on. I'm gonna try reconnecting with sir. Okay. Great. Sorry for the trouble. There was some network issues. Thank you everyone. The rest of the questions will be answered later on. I'm gonna end the broadcast now.